Many women, as they grow older, quietly ask themselves a powerful question: do I still turn heads when I walk into a room? It's not vanity, it's human. In a world that often praises youth, flawless skin, slim figures, and the freshness of early adulthood, it's easy to feel like beauty fades with time. But the truth is, real beauty doesn't disappear as we age. It evolves. When a mature woman enters a room, people don't just see her face or figure. They feel her presence. They notice how she carries herself, the calm confidence in her posture, the way she makes others feel at ease. That's the kind of beauty that can't be bottled or faked. It's the beauty of experience, of wisdom, of grace that's been lived, not just worn. In the sections ahead, we'll explore 7 meaningful signs that show you are still a strikingly attractive woman, whether you've realized it or not. These signs go beyond hair color or fashion. They speak to your essence, the quiet power you hold, and the impression you leave wherever you go. This isn't about trends, it's about truth. It's about recognizing the beauty that grows deeper with time, and finally giving yourself the credit you've long deserved. One of the clearest signs that you're a good-looking older woman is when people don't just comment on your physical appearance. They respond to your presence. When we're younger, compliments often center around surface-level beauty, glowing skin, a toned figure, or youthful features. But as we grow older, something deeper begins to shine through, the way we make others feel. And that in itself is a powerful kind of beauty. Take Margaret, for example. She's a 72-year-old retired school teacher from Michigan. Margaret never considered herself particularly striking. She didn't wear much makeup, never followed beauty trends, and kept her style simple. But wherever she went, grocery stores, community events, even airports, people gravitated toward her. Strangers smiled at her. Younger women admired her grace. Men often offered to carry her bags without being asked. At first, she didn't understand why, but over time, she realized it wasn't about looking 20 years younger. It was her warmth, her poise, and the calm confidence she carried in her voice and posture. That was the kind of beauty that couldn't be erased by time. It had only deepened with it. When people compliment you on things like your smile, your energy, your calming presence, or your graceful way of speaking, they're seeing your whole self, not just your outward appearance. These compliments mean something more. They reflect how you make others feel simply by being you. Real beauty, especially in later years, is holistic. It's not about perfect symmetry or flawless skin. It's about impact. If people are drawn to your presence, if they light up when you walk into a room or engage you in meaningful conversation, that is beauty. That is magnetism. So the next time someone says, "You have such a calming aura," or "there's just something about you," don't brush it off. That's your elegance. That's your quiet power. And that, more than anything, is the mark of a truly attractive woman. Another unmistakable sign that you're an attractive older woman is when younger people, especially women, notice and admire your style. At a certain stage in life, beauty stops being about chasing trends or trying to look decades younger. Instead, it becomes about knowing who you are, what fits you, what reflects your personality, and what makes you feel like yourself. And when younger women take notice, it means something. Your presence carries a timeless kind of elegance that doesn't depend on age. Let's talk about Eleanor, a 70-year-old former interior designer from Oregon. Eleanor never followed every fashion craze. She didn't try to dress young. Instead, she focused on wearing clothing that flattered her figure and reflected her personality. Structured blazers, soft scarves, bold accessories that told a story. She wasn't dressing to fit in. She was dressing to express herself. Over the years, she started to notice something. Younger women in stores would compliment her scarves. Waitresses would ask where she got her handbag. Some would even say, "I hope I look as good as you when I'm your age." These weren't just casual remarks. They were signs of admiration, not for trendiness, but for authenticity. True style isn't about labels. It's about presence. When you dress with care, even in simple, comfortable clothes, you send a message that says, "I value myself." When your hair is neat, your accessories intentional, and your posture proud, people notice. And when younger women admire you, it means they see in you a level of sophistication they aspire to have someday. There's also something magnetic about a woman who's truly comfortable in her own skin. She's not trying to hide the lines on her face or cover the silver in her hair. She embraces them. She walks with confidence. She doesn't apologize for her age. She embodies it. That kind of confidence makes her glow. So if someone younger compliments your outfit, your taste in jewelry, or simply says, "You always look so put together," take it to heart. They're not just talking about your clothes. They're recognizing your elegance, one that only grows stronger with time. One of the most telling signs of a woman's beauty, especially later in life, is how people respond when she speaks. If others consistently make eye contact with you, listen closely, and seem genuinely drawn to your words, you're not just attractive, you're magnetic. In our youth, beauty often captures attention quickly, but fades just as fast. With age, however, the kind of beauty that remains is the one that commands respect, not just glances. That happens when your words carry weight, when your voice carries warmth, and when your presence fills the room in a quiet but undeniable way. Consider Linda, a 74-year-old retired professor from Vermont. Linda never saw herself as physically striking, but she noticed something wherever she went. People paid attention. At dinner parties, family gatherings, even simple chats with strangers. People looked her in the eye, responded thoughtfully, and often stayed in conversation longer than expected. One day, a young woman told her, "You have such a graceful way of speaking. It's hard not to listen." That was when Linda realized her beauty wasn't loud or showy. It came through in how she connected with people. Eye contact is one of the most instinctive ways we show interest and respect. When someone holds your gaze, tilts their head slightly, or leans in while you're speaking, it means you've captured their attention. And attention is one of the sincerest forms of flattery, but it goes even deeper than that. People are drawn to energy, not just physical appearance. If your presence makes others feel seen, valued, or inspired, it shows. If your words are remembered long after the conversation ends, that's real influence. That's quiet power. True beauty isn't about being loud. It's about being undeniable. And if you've ever noticed that people focus on you when you speak, or that conversations with you feel unusually meaningful, take it as a sign. Your attractiveness is more than skin deep. It lives in your confidence, your wisdom, and the way others feel when they're near you. Some compliments may seem small on the surface, but they speak volumes. When people notice and admire things like your glowing skin, well-kept hair, or confident posture, they're seeing more than just features. They're recognizing the way you've chosen to care for yourself, and that is incredibly attractive. Take Susan, a 71-year-old retired nurse from North Carolina. She never wore much makeup, never fussed over fancy routines, but she drank water religiously, stayed out of the sun, and always made time for rest and movement. One morning at the farmer's market, a stranger leaned in and said, "I hope my skin looks like yours when I'm your age." That comment stuck with her, not because she was flattered, but because it made her realize that aging well isn't about looking young. It's about looking alive. The same goes for hair. So many women worry about graying strands, but the truth is, silver hair can be stunning. Whether you let it grow naturally or choose to color it, what matters most is that it's cared for. A flattering cut, healthy texture, and thoughtful styling say something important. I still show up for myself. And then there's posture, something that's often overlooked but deeply powerful. The way you stand and move can completely change the way others perceive you. A woman who holds her head high and walks with intention doesn't go unnoticed. She doesn't have to try to be seen. She already is. Slouching can make even the most stylish woman seem unsure. But a straight back and proud stride, that's pure presence. And when people compliment that, when they say you carry yourself so well, they're not just talking about your spine. They're talking about the energy you radiate, the pride you have in who you are today. So if someone tells you your skin glows, your hair looks elegant, or your posture is inspiring, believe them. These aren't shallow remarks. They're reflections of something deeper, your vitality, your self-respect, and your timeless kind of beauty. There's a kind of beauty that doesn't need to be spoken. It walks into a room before you do, and that beauty is confidence. When people treat you with respect, value your opinions, or admire how you carry yourself, it's often not about how you look. It's about what you radiate. Confidence is magnetic, and for many women, it becomes strongest in the second half of life. Take Barbara, a 73-year-old former business owner from Texas. She never tried to dress younger than her age. She didn't follow the latest trends or chase youth, but people noticed her everywhere she went, at restaurants, on errands, during community events. They greeted her with warmth, listened to her intently, and often made comments like, "There's just something about the way you carry yourself." Barbara realized that her allure didn't come from her appearance alone. It came from how she moved through the world. Calm, clear, unapologetically herself. That's what confidence looks like. It's not loud. It doesn't need to prove anything. It shows up in your body language, the way you walk, the way you speak. When you know your worth, you don't seek validation. You become it. Confidence makes people see you differently. You don't have to ask for attention. It's given. People lean in when you speak. They take your words seriously. They seek your presence not because you're flashy, but because you make them feel secure and inspired. And here's the beauty of it. Confidence is contagious. When you're comfortable in your own skin, you inspire others to feel the same. If younger women tell you they admire how grounded you are, or if people naturally defer to your wisdom in conversations, that's not accidental. That's beauty rooted in strength. So if you've ever been told that you own the room without trying, or that you seem so sure of yourself, embrace that. That is the kind of confidence that turns heads long after appearances fade. That is the beauty of a woman who knows exactly who she is. Beauty isn't always about what people see. It's about what they feel when they're around you. And if people seem to open up to you easily, seek your company, or say you have a calming presence, it's a sign that your attractiveness goes far beyond physical traits. Let's talk about Diane, a 70-year-old retired nurse from Colorado. She never saw herself as conventionally beautiful, but people noticed her wherever she went, not because she was trying to stand out, but because she naturally drew others in. Cashiers remembered her name. Neighbors lingered longer in conversation. Young women often said things like, "I hope I have your energy when I'm your age." What made Diane so magnetic wasn't her hairstyle or her wardrobe. It was her warmth. She made people feel seen, heard, and safe. That's charisma, and it's one of the most underrated forms of beauty. Think about it. Have you ever met someone who lit up a room just by walking into it? It's not about having perfect features. It's about the expression on your face, the kindness in your eyes, the way you smile with sincerity. A gentle tilt of the head while listening, a subtle nod, or a warm touch on the shoulder. These things matter. They create comfort, and comfort is captivating. Attractive women in their later years often aren't the loudest in the room, but they command attention through warmth and emotional intelligence. They're the ones who make people feel safe enough to be themselves. That's the kind of beauty that leaves a lasting impression. If you've ever been told that people just feel good around you, or that your presence is soothing, don't underestimate what that means. You have something that can't be taught, an emotional glow, a quiet charisma that only becomes richer with time. And that, without a doubt, is a signature of a truly good-looking older woman. Sometimes beauty doesn't announce itself. It simply draws attention without trying. One of the clearest signs that your attractiveness hasn't faded with age is when you notice people stealing glances at you. Whether it's a subtle look across the room, a second glance at the grocery store, or a lingering gaze that someone quickly turns away from. This kind of attention isn't always loud or obvious. In fact, it's often quiet and respectful. And it's not about looking young or meeting society's ever-shifting standards. It's about the way you move, the way you hold yourself, and the undeniable aura of confidence and grace you project. Take Judith, a 68-year-old retired attorney from Washington State. She never saw herself as especially eye-catching, but she started noticing the patterns. Strangers held doors open a little longer. Staff at restaurants seemed more engaged when serving her, and people, men and women alike, often complimented her perfume, her scarf, or simply the way she walked. At first, she thought it was coincidence, but eventually she realized people weren't reacting to her age. They were reacting to her presence. The truth is, when someone feels self-assured, it shows. The way you stand, the way you look others in the eye, the way you walk with purpose, all of these send subtle but powerful signals. It says, I know who I am. I don't need to perform. I belong here. That quiet kind of power catches people's attention. They may not even realize why they're looking, but they feel drawn to something about you. And that something is real beauty, refined by time, deepened by experience, and expressed without effort. So if you've ever noticed someone watching you from across a room or catching themselves staring just a second too long before looking away, don't question it. Don't dismiss it. That's the world reflecting back the beauty you carry every day. Beauty that doesn't scream, but whispers with confidence. I'm still here, and I still shine. If you've seen yourself in even one of these signs, take a moment, breathe it in, let it land. Because here's the truth, your beauty never left you. It simply grew quieter, wiser, and more powerful over time. In our culture, we're told that beauty is something we lose as we age, that it belongs only to the young. But that belief is not only false, it's deeply damaging. The reality is, true beauty evolves. It shifts from being skin deep to soul deep, from being admired for your looks to being remembered for your presence, your voice, your energy. When people light up around you, when younger women admire your style, when strangers engage you in conversation or glance at you just a little longer than expected, that's not luck. That's not nostalgia. That's evidence. Evidence that your beauty is still fully alive, just transformed. A beautiful older woman isn't trying to look like she did at 25. She isn't chasing trends or apologizing for her age. She's owning it, standing tall in her truth, walking in quiet confidence and becoming more captivating with every passing year. So if no one's told you lately, let me say it plainly. You are not invisible. You are not past your prime. You are not fading. You are unfolding. Every compliment, every kind glance, every deep conversation is a reminder that your presence matters, and it always will.